In a previous video, I did a quick explanation of how to import CSV files into Python. Now, in this video, I'm going to show how to import CSV files into Sage, and in particular into the Sage notebook. To import CSV files into the command line Sage, you just use the exact same approach as for base Python, but for the notebook, you do something a bit different. So here's a data set that I've just downloaded from a website, and I'll put a link in the video. And it's a data set that shows, amongst other things, the number of students that enrolled at a particular university and the unemployment rate. So we're going to play around with this. So the first thing, so here's a Sage worksheet, and you can, if you're not familiar with Sage, I highly recommend it. You can do whatever you want in it. Now, we need to get some data in there, and the thing is, you don't know where the working directory for this is, so you need to get that working directory, and you need to get where the data is. So you just click on this data tab, and say upload or create file, and so I'm going to choose a file. So go to my desktop, and there's that CSV file there. And what you want to call it? So I'm going to, instead of using that long name, I'm just going to call it reg for regression. So we upload or create the data file. So there we go. And I can download reg if I wanted to. I can actually create a link to it in another worksheet, or I can delete it. But I can also just get reg by typing data plus, and so this is just using string concatenation, where data is a specific string that just tells the notebook to go to where it thinks its working directory is. So I'll just go back to the worksheet, and I'm going to import that data set. So first things first, I'm going to use the CSV library, just like you would in normal Python. I'm going to open the file in read mode. So to open the file, I write data plus reg, just like we see here. So I can keep on going back and forth to this. But I want to open it in read mode. So then I write, all right, I want my data to be csv.reader of f, and then data to be row for row in data, and now I can close the file. And let's take a look at our data. So there we go. That's actually got the data file into Sage, and we can see everything. However, everything is a string, and there are also some variables that we're not that interested in for the rest of this. But if you know how to handle general data files, you can stop watching here. But I'm just going to now play around with some regression on this just to show what you can do. But ultimately, that's all you need to know of how to use a notebook and a data file. That you import it using that point-and-click approach, and you just get this data file there. Right, so first things first, I'm going to tidy up my data file a bit. And I'm going to say, okay, for row in data, but I don't want that first row, which had the labels for my variables. And I want the third variable, which was the unemployment rate, to act as my x, and the first variable, which was the number of enrollments. So if we now take a look at data, we see we've just got these variables there. Okay, so now it's very simple to carry out a very simple linear regression in Sage. Create some symbolic variables. Oops. And we create a function that's going to be our model. So it's just going to be a linear function, but you can create whatever function you want. So there you go. And now what we're going to do is create a fit. So we use the Sage function find fit, and we say, all right, we want the data, we want to fit the model to the data, and we want the solution dict to be true. So in other words, we want it to return a dictionary of our fit. So let's just do that. And so there you get our coefficient and our y-intercept there. And so now we can just plot this. So I'm going to have a plot of, oh, let me just get the fit So fit, sorry, model.subs fit prints out that function there. So that's saying if we put the unemployment rate in there, then that is the prediction for the number of enrollments that we're going to get. So we can just plot that. Oops. So first of all, we're going to create a plot of the above, and we're going to take it from let's say 5 to about 15, and let's choose the color to be red. So let's just take a look at P there. So that's that straight line that we've just got there, but we want to add on the data. So we do a list plot of the data, and there we see our data. And in fact, if we look there, we see I don't need to plot so far, so we'll just plot to about 11. And there we see a line fitted through this data. And so we see that as the unemployment rate goes up, the number of enrollees look to be going up as well. However, you need to carry out more statistical tests to see if this was an acceptable linear model. But the general point is there that you can import data very easily into the Sage notebook and play around with it.